Well, as we get closer to hurricane season, I know a lot of people know the majority of the effects that we could see here along the coast, but I wanted to talk about them still because there's 5 different categories of hurricanes. Category 1, 74-mile-per-hour winds to 95-mile-per-hour winds. This is when you could lose a few branches, might have a few issues with maybe a window or two, but also during this time throughout the entirety of hurricane season, we are also always watching that storm surge. And as you can see from that green line, the normal level of storm surge, you got to take into account where tide is at on top of it, because that could add even more surge to the area, or if it's low tide, it could lower it. But say you know we've got 3 feet worth of tide, you add on top of that 6 to 12 feet of storm surge, and that's when you're up above someone's house on the second layer. So always something we're very carefully watching during these months. But then as we keep climbing, you get higher wind speeds. That's category 2, 96 to 110 miles per hour. That's the equivalent of an EF1 tornado that could cause broken windows, significant roof damage, and could be having power poles be toppled over. Plus, for our inland areas, maybe closer to Pooler, could see more 2 to EF3 tornadoes possible embedded within these whenever the storm is working its way overhead. So it's very key, especially for if you live in an apartment complex, that you're going to want to make sure you go to the lowest floor of it, stay inside, maybe the laundry room, bathrooms. You want to keep as many walls between the outside and yourself as possible, and basically you want to always have something to protect your head. But talking more, going back to what we're seeing for our hurricane scale, outside of that, we still have even higher hurricanes. Once you get past Cat 3, you reach major status. That means 111 to 129, and these are the most destructive hurricanes that we basically have on our scales. That you can get up to Cat 4 and even up to Cat 5, which means you get over 157 plus miles per hour. As you can see, nothing left in the area when these come through, but those are rare. Only 3 of these have made landfall since 1960 along the western or the Atlantic basin. And as you can see from our frequency chart here, typically when it comes to those major hurricanes, they're that tiny little slither at the bottom. So don't expect those as we head into this year. Doesn't mean they couldn't happen, but as always, we'll be sure to keep you updated throughout the entire season.